Hey everybody, it's Shaman Sister Sin, and you're listening to the Meditations and More podcast brought to you by the Little Shaman. That's me. Today I want to talk to you about the difference between narcissists and psychopaths. There is a lot of overlap here, but there's a few differences as well. Firstly, psychopaths are narcissists, and that's why there's so much overlap between them and the other types of narcissists. Psychopaths have a personality disorder called antisocial personality disorder, which is one of the cluster B personality disorders that we always discuss, and it sits on the end of the malignant narcissistic spectrum. Also, the words psychopath and sociopath are not actually clinical terms, although people do use them, and I'm going to use them here to designate between people with antisocial personality disorder and the other types of narcissists. But just to clarify, the correct term or diagnosis would be antisocial personality disorder. As I said, psychopaths are narcissists. People with antisocial personality disorder are what we could call end-stage narcissists. They are at the end of the spectrum. They are glib, manipulative, and totally without conscience. They are the most dangerous type of narcissist that exists. Psychopaths are what happens when it is not possible to be any more narcissistic. When the focus on the self is so total and so complete that other people just don't matter at all in any way. One of the biggest differences, then, would be that unlike other types of narcissists, psychopaths don't seem to have any need for other people. They don't require other people to prop up their ego or sustain their self-esteem. These types of things just don't seem to factor into their functionality. They like it and they'll relish it, but they don't seem to need it the way that other types of narcissists do. Most narcissists live outside of their dysfunctional ego, so to speak, and their suffering comes from the constant clash of this dysfunctional ego and the defenseless, shattered self of the narcissist. The constant push to appease the ego and the enormous dissonance between the ego and the self. Psychopaths seem to live inside the ego where these things are not a problem. They don't suffer because there is no self, either shattered or otherwise. There is only a dysfunctional, machine-like ego. Psychopaths are not complicated by the overwhelming, disproportionate emotions that torture other types of narcissists. Feelings don't matter to psychopaths the way they matter to other narcissists at all. Their perception is not clouded by emotion, and they're not driven by emotion the way that other narcissists are. Psychopaths are driven by the fulfillment of desire, not the need for sustenance. Most narcissists are driven by sustenance. They abuse, they manipulate, they love bomb, they discard, and it's all in the name of sustenance. They are so deficient that they require a constant stream of energy and focus from other people in order to survive. You can call it supply, you can call it attention, you can call it whatever you want. It all means the same thing. Without this, most narcissists will quickly decompensate and they can even become suicidal. Some of them even do commit suicide. People take these abusive behaviors from narcissists very personally, as of course anybody would, but narcissists don't look at it that way. In a very real way, you can compare most types of narcissists to vampires. What are people to vampires? They're not friends, they're not lovers, they're not equals, they're food. They are sustenance. When people eat animals, it's the same thing. They're doing what they need to do in order to sustain themselves. People don't kill a chicken because they hate the chicken or the chicken is bad. They kill the chicken because they're going to eat the chicken. They eat the chicken because they're hungry and they need food to survive. People don't think about the chicken's life or whether his friends will miss him or even if he has a life or any feelings or friends. It's not personal at all, mostly because the chicken is not seen as a person. There's no emotional connection there. Nothing about the chicken is considered at all except how much meat there will be and how it's going to taste. There is no sadistic desire to hurt the chicken. It's not about that. It's about the person and the person's needs. People only kill the chicken as a matter of course, and that's because they can't eat the chicken if he's still alive. This is how narcissists relate to other people. In other words, sustenance is required to live, and that is what most narcissists need other people for. Fulfillment makes living enjoyable. This is what psychopaths are after. While most narcissists are miserable, sick individuals, absolutely tortured by pathological shame, self-hatred, and paranoia, psychopaths are not because they have no real feelings at all. They don't get upset, they don't get sad, they aren't afraid, they don't feel guilty, ever. This is why they can pass lie detector tests, for instance. They have no physical reaction to stress because they're not stressed. They are a void. They have instinctive reflexes, and they may feel a species of primitive emotion, like the fear that's linked to self-preservation that stops us from walking out in front of a bus, or the rage and jealousy that a dog may feel when another dog tries to take his bone away. But when it comes to true emotion, they are truly empty. Other types of narcissists are empty in a way as well, but they know that they're empty and it gnaws at them, it bothers them. They can feel that emptiness because they're outside of it, and the knowledge of the emptiness and the fact of it just kills them. They know something's missing. They know they're not like other people. The psychopath exists inside that emptiness and they feel nothing. They don't know anything is missing. They have no real understanding of the human experience at all. They are a black hole. You can even feel that when you're around them sometimes. The energy of most narcissists can feel intense and even frantic. Psychopath feels like a blank slate because there's just nothing there. People sometimes say they can feel the evil around psychopaths, but are they feeling a presence or are they feeling that absence? Psychopaths are not inhuman, of course, but they are probably the closest thing to artificial intelligence that there is. They have no real feelings, no empathy, no conscience, and no understanding of what it is to be a human being. Other types of narcissists may sometimes have some semblance of empathy or of a conscience, especially histrionic and borderline personality disordered narcissists, but it's maladaptive and really dysfunctional. Psychopaths have none at all, dysfunctional or otherwise. You would get more empathy from a lizard. A dog feels more shame than a psychopath. Another difference would be that unlike some other types of narcissists, psychopaths generally don't appear crazy. They don't appear delusional. They are not prone to emotional hysterics. They don't accuse people of things that didn't happen. Their perception is not clouded. Psychopaths are beyond those type of things. They are so narcissistic that there is no internal battle going on within them the way there is within other types of narcissists. The desperation that is so often an integral part of other narcissists is not present in the psychopath. Their only goal and their only motivation is desire fulfillment. They desire things that will excite them. They feel nothing, and because of that, they like to experience things that make them feel something. This is why power is a large motivator for psychopaths. It's the biggest, most exciting and intoxicating feeling that there is. Now, many people would probably say that that feeling is love in their opinion, but psychopaths are unable to experience love because they're unable to connect with other human beings. The closest they can get is power. A lot of psychopaths love to have people fall in love with them. It's not because they feel love in return, but because they feel powerful having done that. Because many of them were abused and because they have no empathy or conscience at all, the things that excite them or make them feel powerful are often things that involve violence and hurting other living things. Psychopaths are notorious animal abusers for this very reason. They enjoy being cruel, not because of the pain they cause. They have no actual understanding of it as a thing, but because of how causing that pain makes them feel. If they could get that same feeling from doing something else, they would do that instead. There are plenty of, quote, hero psychopaths in this world who get their power fix from doing things that are seen as good. The motive doesn't matter. The result doesn't even really matter. They care about fulfilling that desire for power. Psychopaths are also usually better at concealing who they really are than most other types of narcissists. Most narcissists tell on themselves eventually, and actually it usually doesn't take that long, because their feelings are such that they simply cannot hide them. They need people, and their ego demands acknowledgement at all times. Psychopaths don't operate that way. They don't really need people for anything, and because of this, they can remain hidden for years. Unless they slip up in some way, they might never be revealed for what they really are. That's how serial killers are able to get away with murder after murder for so long. Other types of narcissists might kill someone they know in a fit of rage in front of 50 witnesses because they couldn't control themselves. They often kill partners that leave them to punish and regain control over them, or kill people they consider to be rivals. Most narcissists kill, in other words, in defense of their ego, which is the same reason they do everything else. They see it as killing in self-defense because they can't survive the level of narcissistic injury they are feeling from the situation. Psychopaths don't do things like that. Their reasons for murder are not emotional. They are not defensive. To put it bluntly, psychopaths usually kill people for fun. They often kill people they don't even know and have absolutely no motive against. They may want to see what happens. They like the power. It's very exciting. Their reasons are not ones that non-psychopathic people can understand. And because of these reasons, who they are and what they've done can remain hidden for a very long time. This doesn't just apply to murder, it applies to everything. They are often the last people you would suspect of doing anything. Their mask is often flawless. It's a big misconception that narcissists don't have any feelings. This is not the case. Narcissists do have feelings. They don't have feelings for other people, but they have plenty for themselves, and you will see them if you're around long enough. Psychopaths are the ones that have no feelings. So if you're dealing with someone that you think is a narcissist, but they don't have clouded perception and they don't seem to have any feelings at all, you might be dealing with a psychopath. It's an interesting phenomenon that while there are plenty of people who want to be edgy, walking around pretending to be psychopaths and claiming that they're sociopaths, no one ever claims to be a narcissist. Maybe Hollywood hasn't romanticized narcissists enough yet. Give it time. I hope this clears a few things up for you. As always, I look forward to your comments, questions, and suggestions. Please keep those coming. You've been listening to the Meditations and More podcast. That's me, the Little Shaman. May the Great Spirit bless you and have a wonderful day.